Okay. Good evening, folks. Gonna call a meeting to order here on Tuesday, September 20th at 7 p.m. First item on the agenda is pledge allegiance. Please stand and join us.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'm good. Mark, anything? About the interview? Nicole? Earl, anything? Agenda review?
Under new town business, I'd like to add the Swanton Beach proposal letter of support for the Friends of
It's on here, isn't it?
It's in their correspondence.
It's in correspondence.
It's under correspondence, yeah.
And then there was another thing too, their study on stormwater runoff that Friends of Northern Lake Champlain had.
That was in that same email.
Yeah. They had areas in Swanton, most of it's right next to yours, yeah.
Oh, Swanton and Highgate.
Yeah, Swanton and Highgate. Well, I just want to add a small discussion on that.
Okay.
Under new business.
Sure. Kathy, in?
I'm good, thank you.
Joe, you good? Brian, anything?
Just under correspondence, we've got a letter that Joel is here and will be talking about from
Okay.
Cross Consulting Engineers on
All right.
on the rec center project.
Okay. Ed, anything?
I'm good, thank you.
All right. Topics. Gonna hear a motion to approve the minutes from September 6th meeting.
So move.
First and second, any other discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Aye. Public comment? Anybody have anything on public comment that's not on the agenda?
I just want to share these with everybody too. These are information I received during the volunteer fun fair. A lot of great information about some of the organizations in the community and what they're doing.
Thank you. Okay.
So this is our friends from the Abenaki Tribal Council, the things at the Swanton Public Library, and things from Swanton Recreation.
Okay, very cool. Thank you. Pat, you have something on public comment?
Yeah, you don't hear much what I do as a constable. I was going down Frontage Road the other evening, and I see this dog coming across, and there's a punk in front of me with one of the loud mufflers. Smacked this dog, and just kept on going, and my focus was the dog.
Yeah.
So I got out, went to the house, asked them if that was their dog, and he came out, and the dog was injured badly.
Yeah.
I was holding her actually, and she died in my arms.
Yeah.
So I gave one of my business cards and, apologized. Didn't get the plate number, I was more concentrated on the animal than anything else. And, I don't think she lasted 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And he was watching her daughter's dog.
Yeah.
So he had to call her and
Yeah.
it was just
Yeah.
not a good sight.
No. Well, thank you. What you do?
I held it till she passed, so
Yeah.
it's,
Crazy.
he was all shook up.
Yeah, I bet.
Beautiful dog, golden retriever,
Yeah.
so, but I just thought I'd pass that on.
All right, thank you, Pat. Anybody, anything else in the public comment? I just have one thing. I told you guys all last week that I won't seek re-election in March. I'm gonna step down and not seek in March.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah, no, I just told amongst the board, so
Oh.
I won't. I'll finish out my term till March, but I'm not gonna seek re-election, so. So if anyone's out there, do their homework and put their name in, get on the ballot when it's that time. So I think I've done my time, almost 8 years, and it's time for a break, and I got my own things going on I need to take care of, and hopefully someone will fill my shoes, and
I know how busy you are, so.
Yeah,
Thanks for your service.
Yeah,
I
appreciate it.
Totally understand where you're coming from.
yeah, no, it wasn't an easy decision, that's for sure, but, yeah, something needed to do, so.
Like mine, you both got an asset, so.
All right, law enforcement, we got animal control.
Okay, I did not get a report from the animal control officer, but
Okay.
I have,
she had.
I mean, I can report, I've gone out twice and, on times that Jim has called me to, when he couldn't respond to a call.
Yeah.
Both times I took an animal into possession and found the owner for them and returned them back to the owner.
Okay. All right, well, thank you.
Anytime you're in a bind, you can call me, cause that's one part of the constable is to back up the animal control.
I think so,
You
yeah.
know, I mean, I'm more than willing to help, especially when it comes to animals, you know.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I also have a soft spot for animals.
Yeah.
Old business, discuss the land survey on acquired tax sale property. Which we already got a copy of.
You've got a copy of that, and Nicole and Ed and I are scheduled to go Thursday morning at 10 o'clock with the surveyor to walk the property, and to check it out, but that is the survey, and you can see where, it's kind of small, but you can see where the road is
School
on
driveway goes
property,
across it.
as well as a batting cage, so that's something that we'll have to.
Where's the town garage in relation to this?
Town garage would be down, like, this would be more First Street down below.
Be down here, I think, Earl.
Yeah.
See where my finger is here, yeah. Cause you got frontage roads over here on this side.
Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah. It's Ral's own land behind the town garage.
This is the town.
So the town garage is probably down here in this corner.
also Ralph, I thought that land
Yeah.
touches
It
the
go-
garage, but it does
It
not.
does not.
No, it doesn't,
Okay.
no. So
Okay.
that's what we talked
Alright.
about,
Yeah,
maybe bartering if it was possible, then we
Right.
could have a bigger chunk of land for the garage and right behind it.
right, and that's still,
Yeah.
possibility.
Still an option,
First,
yeah.
first part, but we
So,
gotta deal with
the other stuff that's on the property.
Yeah.
So it's surrounded two sides by Ralph property and only one side by MBU.
Two.
two
This
spaces,
side is
yeah, in
in,
the back
this
too,
side is in
so,
Swanton,
yeah,
and this side of MBU is in Highgate.
Oh, I see, okay, yeah.
You see where the
All right, where's the
driveway is?
MBU driveway? Right here.
Right on the top of it. and
The
goes
main
right across it.
driveway, correct.
Yeah.
Is right here.
This is it.
No, that's the borderline between Swanton and Highgate.
Okay, so this
This
is the
little-
main driveway. So where's the school in relationship to this?
Right here, Earl,
right, right there.
right there.
Right there.
So when you drive in the driveway
Yeah.
at the school, that first part of the building you come to is right there in the picture,
Yeah,
on the left.
So you're coming in,
Cause the
there's the
road comes in.
first pod, and
yeah.
there's an access road but on the side of that pod to go back to the back field, and that's what this is. Right here.
Okay. So there is a portion of that lane that the school has been using.
Yeah,
Right along.
yeah, well, they built the driveway on it, so.
Yes.
Yeah.
So then, these, that's supposed to be where are them houses that are behind here? They're not behind here, that's right, I'm thinking of the other.
No, the
Okay,
houses
yeah.
No, the houses are
Yeah,
further down
they're all
towards
down here, yeah,
78, this is 78
Yeah.
right here.
okay.
Yeah.
So from the road, from 78 to the site, how far is that? 100 feet, 200 feet?
108 feet, it looks like, from the road back, if you look at the corner of Ral's lot right there.
Yeah,
Yeah, so it's not too far, they own a chunk in there,
yeah, okay.
then it goes over 385 feet.
So, if the school doesn't have interest in it, then the only other people that would really have any interest in it would be Ralph's.
That's right, yeah.
It looks like the school's pretty interested considering they're already using parts of it.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Well, have they got excited about this, or
I don't know.
really got in?
Oh,
They
they
haven't
know
been
anything about it.
informed.
Yeah,
They are.
we just barely got this back, the survey proves show that they're actually on our land, so.
Apparently, from what my understanding was, the school was approached and an employee of the school district, not an elected member of the board,
agenda and
I
discuss
would
this?
say yes.
I would say yes.
I
to
would
that
say
too.
so too.
I guess we're all in agreement that the best thing is to get this, let the school take this land over.
Well, we're gonna get to them for free, that's for sure. We got money invested
No,
in
it's
this.
just
Yeah.
cost of taxpayers.
Yeah.
Well, half a dozen, one or the other, it's somewhat the same taxpayers. Like to at least get a cost at it,
Mm-hmm.
at a minimum.
Yeah. Yep.
I guess there's a couple of questions for me. If MU was not interested in it, what liability would the town be held upon for having that road on this property?
Well, if they're
If
not
something
in-
happened,
Right.
Well, they're not on the road. then.
right,
Yeah.
or even with the batting cage, I don't wanna be extreme, but God forbid there's a hole in that cage and the ball comes out and hits somebody.
Oh, absolutely.
Like
I
just
mean, the
something
simple
like,
solution would be for them, I mean, again, it's just me talking. We could tell them, you have to move the road, and you're gonna move your.
I mean, I hate to see it, but I just think it's
And
liability.
they, you know, and they've got quite a bit invested in that road.
Mm-hmm.
I would say they should at least, at the very minimum,
Parcel.
go through parcel it,
Yeah.
subdivide it,
Mm-hmm.
which we would say they have to pay,
Mm-hmm.
our cost of that, and then we'll do the rest of it.
Yeah, you might as well just buy the whole thing.
Well,
Yeah.
and that's cleaner, simpler.
Yeah.
Ideally, it'd be better if they took the whole parcel.
Yes, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah.
It would be.
Well, my suggestion is we get the costs of what we've got into it right now, this survey.
Yeah.
Minus what we paid in taxes, that's
Yeah.
what we're at.
Right there, 16,000.
Well, not including the taxes we paid, correct?
It includes the taxes, I just gotta see if Jim, once we took possession of it, if he took it off the tax, because it's a town property now.
Oh, so we're gonna pay taxes again?
We might.
Yeah, well, I guess it's what, it means coming in one hand, going out the other, so there's no net loss or no net gain, but,
My other theory was.
well, at the tax sale, we did have to pay that.
Yeah.
The back taxes.
And they did back taxes, so. Well, that's where the $12,000 came from,
That's
the back taxes we paid on it, so. My other theory was, the Ralphs border our town garage in the back, so maybe we could barter with them for some more land behind our garage and trade offset this. Seeing we only have an acre lot there for the whole garage, it would give us more room out back to work.
Alright, so, if you were looking at this, where would you draw that on there? James? What, if you were gonna barter with, Ralph?
Oh, I'd have to have a better map than that, but it's somewhere's in here, it'd be behind our town garage property, here.
Yeah,
So, even if I don't even know if they're willing, but it's just not here, so.
well, it makes sense,
Mhm.
I mean, now we got an opportunity to do that, and then what remains can go to the school, you know, and everybody would benefit some, I mean, that reduced how much money we could ask the school for, because, you know, we're gonna keep part of that land, but we could prorate the taxes on it. You should get the numbers together then, and then get this marked out of what we would think we would like at the town garage. And we can, you know, Brian, get a hold of the Rowells and see if they would be willing to even discuss such a possibility.
Yep.
And then, get scheduled up for the school too, to let them know what's going on.
Sounds good to me.
This thing's been dragging around for how many years?
Long time,
A long time.
long time.
Yeah.
Wrong agenda. There we go.
Revolving loan.
Yeah. Discuss establishment of revolving loan fund, page 7. I just saw that.
Okay. At the last meeting, I gave you, the outline, of what the fund would look like. I didn't know if we wanted to discuss further or just proceed, or if you had any questions on that. And I brought along copies, I'll hand out if you would like. And, yeah. We'll,
I can't find.
too.
You got yours?
Yeah.
Ed? Okay. So it's, the folks in Montpelier are pretty happy with this, the way it's set up. And, you know, we just have to maybe tweak it a little bit, but I don't think it needs to be too much. It's pretty much what the village is using for theirs. And, I didn't know if you had any questions or.
Cut and dry.
You got a maximum loan amount here, 5,000, that's just because that's the way the other one was?
Yeah.
of The village?
Yeah.
So that could probably be something that might be,
We could probably tweak that.
yeah.
We won't have a
But
lot
we're
of
only
money.
talking a total fund of $50,000.
$50,000, so.
You know, why an application fee so high where a commercial lender may not have an application fee?
Well, again, that was in that, I'd say that, somebody in this office, probably me, is gonna have to run that program.
So to cover administrative cost.
Yeah. Which shouldn't be too bad if everybody is paying, that's when somebody doesn't pay.
So this $100 fee is only if they get approved for their loan.
So it's an
No,
application
it's
fee that's
application fee.
non-refundable.
It's non-refundable, it's you have to process the application, you gotta do the work on the application, whether they are approved or not.
Now what about like a smaller business that, you know, might not have that $100 fee? You know, just thinking about like a conversation last night, when they were joining the chamber, they don't have that extra funds, that's why they're applying for the money. I mean, while I do think covering the cost of the administration to fund the loan is important, you know, just,
Well, I guess the way I look at it is we're trying to help the businesses, not bleed money, you
Right.
know?
No,
I would say, I mean, I could see the $100 fee to go towards the loan if you're accepted for the loan, but $100 fee to apply for the loan is, you know.
Whatever you.
Yeah, no, I know, I mean, no, I don't.
Yeah, you have 5 people put in for it, you're getting $500 just,
Yeah,
it seems a little much. I think if it's proved, the paperwork that's gonna have to go through it, maybe
Mhm.
acceptable, but.
because what, if someone applies for this, what do they have to go through to be, to qualify first? I mean, is it,
Well,
it's our decision, or do we have to have it?
it goes to a committee,
Mhm.
and the committee's spelled out in there.
So we have to establish a committee?
Well, yeah, the committee would include, it would be myself, and Kathy, and one other person.
Okay.
And there's like a 4-page application, very similar to what a commercial credit application would be. And then that group of 3 people would review the application and process it, make sure that, you know, do their ratios and all that good stuff that would go through. And then make a recommendation to this board as to whether to approve or not. This board will still be the final yes or no. And then we have to prepare the loan documents and whatnot.
But I could certainly understand a $100 fee if they are accepted for the loan, the work that's gonna come after, but just to put in for the loan $100. Some of these small businesses that we discussed last night, I just don't think it's the right thing to do.
But
I
you
think it's
will,
a deterrent.
you will get closing fees, anyways, if the loan is
If the
approved,
loan
you get
approves.
1%.
Exactly.
Yeah. take
But
care
if
of
they're
that.
just to put in for it, you're gonna charge them that,
Yeah, I don't really
I don't think that's
so.
the right standard we should be setting.
Yeah.
We wanna help them, not deter them.
Exactly, that's where I was going with it.
That'd be the only thing that I see.
So what would you propose?
The $100 would be, you know, your application would be accepted for.
If
For
you're
administration,
accepted.
for administration and processing.
So one more question too, so these people that apply for the loan, do they have to actually own a property? What if it's a business that rents a property?
No, they don't have to own the property.
Okay,
You would, business that would be renting, you'd take a security position in their,
You know, on their business.
their inventory and
Okay.
equipment.
Well, I just saw something about where the first mortgage holder,
Yeah, well, these, in cases of mortgage.
That's the delinquency part of it,
I
so.
guess my question for the $100, do we feel that the $100 would be enough to cover the fees that you guys would have to do if they are accepted? Should that be
Well,
higher?
you're getting $100 plus the 1%.
1%, $5,000 is the minimum, so.
But then it turns around and says the maximum loan amount will not exceed 50% of the available funds in another section, so, you know, if you got 5,000 on one side, the other side says available funds.
That's on page 3.
Doesn't that mean like we have $50,000, so we're not gonna lend one person 50% of the full loan fund, isn't that what that means?
Yeah.
Yeah, but if
No
you
one
got 50,
person.
But here it's saying the max loan amount will be 5,000, and then the max loan amount will not exceed 50% of the
Okay,
available
this-
funds.
Actually, that whole paragraph should come out.
what whole paragraph, which one?
This one, in terms and conditions for loans to the town of Swanton.
Oh,
See, the village and their program can loan
oh,
money
okay,
to the
so
village.
that is just
Two.
if they were loaning
This
us
is-
money.
This
Right.
is
To the town.
To the town.
Okay.
So-
Good catch.
And that was a special deal, and so that should come out.
Well, then maybe we could go max loan amount on this other side and say it will not exceed, you know, I hate to limit it to 5,000 if something for $15,000 project was a major
For the
thing.
costs are today, $5,000 doesn't seem like a lot.
What?
For the cost of
Yeah,
even
yeah.
repairs or whatever they're doing, it doesn't seem to be a lot.
But the hard part is we only got $50,000.
No, we don't have a lot of money,
No.
but we've got some.
Yeah,
Even if you went 10, you could possibly help 5 businesses
Mhm.
out.
yeah, yeah, no, I'm fine with that.
So you wanna increase that to 10?
Change it to 10,000 maximum.
At least, I'd go 15, but. Now-
And that's the
Okay,
discretion of the
now-
select board anyway, so.
Yeah, the other thing is the interest rate. Are we obligated to follow this 1% of Wall Street prime, or can we do something better? Because we're not really in the loan business. We're in the community development business.
That's right. No, you can set the interest rate however you want, this was just, but if it's set in this policy, then that's what we gotta go with.
That's right. But as it says right now, we'd have to do this 1% of,
Prime plus 1%, but that is fixed, it's a fixed rate, it's not floating,
yeah.
so that's.
Yeah, but you're thinking like a banker now. right?
No, but that's what it is, it's fixed at 1%. So that's,
Yeah, so it's got 1% is the max it's
1%
gonna be.
over prime is not
Terrible. Not terrible.
It's not, it's certainly.
Yeah, but it
not-
depends what prime is,
Yeah.
and that's going higher,
It has gone up. a
and it's
little
going
bit.
up tomorrow.
So if they're gonna pay 6% interest, where's that 6% come back to us?
And it'll come back to us.
That's what I say, we're not in the,
I understand, yeah, I see what you're saying, yeah.
that's the point I'm making.
We're here to help businesses not.
Let's just set the
make
number
money.
in regards to what the prime is, it's 1%, 2% now across the
Mhm.
board.
Yeah.
Because if prime's up
It'll
and
be
down.
it'll be
Right, well, whatever the prime is at the day of the closing, it's gonna be 1% above,
Above.
and that stays at that for 10 years.
Yeah.
So they could be really under, depending upon what prime is doing over the next 10 years, they could be
Yeah.
in a good position.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, or they could be bad, if it's too high,
Yeah.
they could ask to seek a refinance and lower the rate.
That's why I don't feel it really works for what we wanna do.
And we're in this to make the money is really what you're saying.
Exactly.
We're there to
I think we need to set a rate
Mhm.
and that's it.
and that's it.
If it's gonna be 3%, it's gonna be 3%, that's
Mhm.
all it's ever gonna be,
Well, they can do that,
Yeah.
you
you
know?
know, that's,
I think a fixed rate
Mhm.
amongst ourselves is,
I think it's fine. We're not a bank, that's not the purpose of this. so.
It's to
Now,
help
now,
some
if we
small
wanted
businesses.
to run a business, a bank business, then yes, I would agree 100% with you.
well, that's, you know, Lynn at the village and I had a discussion about these revolving loan funds, and that's you know, the head on the, you know, right there. We're not a bank,
Yeah.
That's right.
and, you know, years ago, the trustees of public money used to loan money
Yeah.
And then, but the problem with that, as we found, as was the case, the town is not a licensed lender to be loaning money like that, so you can't do that. Yet for these, you've gotta do it, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's kinda, but, you know, if you just wanted to set, you know, we'd go 3% or 2%, I don't care. You know.
I'm good with 2%, I don't know what you think.
That's why I was.
I think that's reasonable, it gives you a couple bucks back and on your money.
That's fine.
Okay.
We just gotta finalize what we want the max amount to be, you know, once we finalize that.
I seen my brother Paul do that once.
Just leave it on the table.
But I paid 500 more when he got all done.
Now, on the third page, it'd be the fourth bullet point down. The borrower shall be required to maintain insurance at an equal amount of the town's loan with the village named as a
No,
loss
that should be-
payee.
That should be clear.
Yeah, there's probably some wordage in here because this was kind
Right,
of from the
I
village.
just wanna make sure that
yeah,
gets
yeah.
noted and reflects the
Right.
town and not the village.
No, that's standard, you want them to maintain insurance,
Right, I was just making
insurance.
sure
Yeah,
that the
but
verbiage was
that-
town and not village.
They have to personally guarantee. Yeah, I don't really see us doing even alone that side on real estate, not saying it wouldn't, but, you know, the appraisal's gonna, if we say we need an appraisal on commercial real estate's expensive, so
Yeah.
I don't see this being done on
They
real
may not come
estate.
to us for the loan if that's what they're doing.
Yeah, I just don't see it being done on real estate.
We're not blowing hundreds of thousands of dollars, so, you know, this is pennies.
Okay, more inch feet, yeah, that's okay. And, yeah, and if you take real estate, you know, you gotta do title searches and all that other stuff, and they have to have a lawyer, should have a lawyer do that. For that small one, it'd be prohibitively expensive for that. The town attorney will prepare all loan documentation, I think, unless it's something really complicated, I think, we can prepare our own documents.
Did we get that one on the back? With the lost PE?
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
One other thing I wanna bring up is eligibility. We don't have a very big fund,
right.
I guess, and I know the village has some money, right? And if we were gonna combine this money, then my feeling is, that it should be for,
I don't think we can combine the money with the village though, I think it's their own thing.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
It has to stay
They're
town.
under there,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
It's
So does that
under the-
mean
yeah.
a business within the village limits couldn't apply?
Oh, they could apply.
Yeah,
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 but
but
I'm-
this just has to be the town's.
but,
own
all right,
vote.
okay, you may be,
Yeah.
there may be some ways of working around that, and there may not be, but even if there isn't, do we wanna commit this money to downtown, Merchants Row?
I think this money should be for
Anywhere
any
within it.
taxpayer of, any big business want, no matter where they are,
Okay, yeah.
all of Swanton.
Well, we're gonna lose that much money for downtown.
But how is it fair to just give the money to downtown, not everybody that does business in Swanton?
Well, I guess it depends how, you know, I'm looking at it from the standpoint that we need to do something down there, and it's probably gonna take some of this kind of money to get people incentivized to do it, and to make it cash flow for them. As far as, you know, cleaning the place up, Merchant Row needs to be cleaned up.
But as long as it's
open to
any business or.
It needs, you know, it needs some,
Mhm.
it needs a facelift.
Yeah.
we're only gonna, I mean, it might happen on its own, it might, at some point in time. But if we dedicate a certain portion of money, and we don't have a lot for that area, I think it signifies that we feel it's important. And it may make, it might bring, private sector people in, saying, okay, the town and the village think this is real important. I'm gonna try to do something here, come up with a business plan, and if we can help them out, get it started, clean the place up, we're all definitely gonna be better off for it. I mean, if we had a lot of money, I agree, it'll be all over, but we're dealing with a limited amount of funds. It's not, but that's just my feeling,
Well, I just feel it should be open to everybody, not
All
just,
inclusive.
don't specify one. I mean, I understand what you're saying, but I just don't think it's right to just say, only those people on Mercy Road will be allowed to apply for this money.
First come, first served basis.
And that's the way it is, first come, first served, yeah. So we all good with this?
Do we decide on what the max amount was gonna be? I know there was 10, there was 15 discussion.
Okay. So what do we want, 10, 15,000 max amount?
Well, I think 15 is, if we're gonna help anybody out at all, that might give them enough collateral to move on,
I'm fine with that. So,
Okay,
I'm in agreement with that.
all right.
So,
So we're good with it, this flat 2% interest?
10 years. Yep, 2%.
Yeah. Okay. Do we need a vote on this, Brian?
Yeah, you should probably.
Okay.
we gotta remove that portion where the town let
Yeah.
money did sale.
Right, yeah. And removing the terms and conditions for loans to the town, so on,
Yeah.
that's
All
gone.
right.
Yep.
I'll entertain a motion to approve the revolving loan fund guidelines and with the changes we just made to them.
I'll move.
A second on that?
I'll second.
All right, any other discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, ayes have it. Oh. Newtown business naming a road off of Woods Hill Road, page 8.
Is that a town road or is it a private road?
It's a private road off Woods Hill Road.
They,
Nothing we're gonna maintain.
they've been all approved, they're starting to sell lots, and, so Amy said, well, we need numbers on there, and I said, well, what's the name of the street? For 911, what's the name of the street?
Yeah.
And they hadn't gotten it, so.
So the first choice.
They have three choices. 911 suggests you get three choices, and it's the select board's purview which one to take. There's some, you've got Braden's Way, Braden's Lane, Braden's Drive. Now,
Are those choices 1, 2, 3 their pick, or is it
that was just, there was the three choices.
3 choices, all right?
Now, Brandon, as I mentioned, to be compliant with 911 and the US Postal Service standards, the suffix should not be drive.
Mhm.
And to be compliant with NEMRIC software that we use, we should not be using an apostrophe in the name. Because they don't have NEMRIC does not have
recognize
Okay,
recognize an apostrophe. If we put it up without an apostrophe and you put a road sign up there, then it's incorrect grammar.
Mhm.
So, it would either be Braden's Way or Braden's Lane would be,
Mhm.
I don't, if they gave Amy the first one, Braden's Way, and it's,
Well, I'm good with, so are we gonna just call it Braden's Way with no apostrophe, or just Braden,
with Braden Way.
no
Braden-
S?
No S,
No apostrophe, yes.
no apostrophe, yes,
Okay.
Braden Way.
All right, Braden Way.
Yeah, we talked to them, people are okay with that too then?
Well, they don't have much choice, is what we pick, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why they gave
Amy
three
will
choices.
notify them.
Just a building standard.
Yeah,
They probably weren't aware of these standards either.
well, probably not, I was
Not
not aware of them
apostrophe,
until I
so.
started reading,
Yeah.
you know, and it's like, oh, okay.
All right, I'll entertain a motion to name the road, Braden's Way, Braden Way.
Raven Way.
I'll make that
Braden Way.
motion.
Second.
All right, any other discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Keep it simple.
Okay. Okay, on to me, all right.
It is, yeah.
You guys all must have got, okay, everybody got the email that.
Yes.
Finally.
About that, you know, I'd like to have the friends come in and do a presentation for us on what they, and what we need to do here in Swan. And make sure that the people on the Quam Shore that have been very concerned about this issue are aware of the things that have already happened. They should be, but they might not be. You know, they think that the town, that we as a select board don't care about water quality on the Quam Shore, but that's not true at all. You know, and you're getting some things, I think as Friends of Northern Lake Champlain is our best option if we're gonna do anything.
No, I can certainly tell them, they've offered, and I think we can.
Yep. Sounds
Schedule
good.
them and-
Sometime next month. Yeah, one of the meetings.
October.
Yeah, that way we'll get it done before we get into budget time. 'Cause
Yeah.
we ain't gonna have time to do
Yeah,
that.
I agree, I agree.
So,
Yeah, we can take care of that.
And, oh, you're gonna do that during correspondence, right, the letter?
Yeah, well, we can just,
Letter.
we do have the letter of support.
just talk about it now, it's fine, we're on the same thing.
We, did have the letter of support, James has signed it.
So it's already gone.
It's
now.
all set,
Well,
right,
it'll
it's
go out
signed
tomorrow,
tonight,
and
so.
I'll send that to them, I'll also mention, well, let's schedule
Yep. Yep.
for the meeting in October.
Okay. Sounds good. Community Economic Development, schedule final public hearing, leader evaporator grant.
Okay, the leader evaporator grant, we're trying to close that thing out. That money requires that we have a final public hearing.
Mm-hmm.
And it has to be warned 15 days, and not, no more than 20 days, no less than 15. So the public hearing will be just very brief, and I'm shooting for the October 18th select board.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, and there'll be a special notice that will go out in the
Yeah.
paper to that. So
Okay.
that's what we're gonna do there. That's all that we need there.
Okay. Well, over there.
Yeah.
Highway. Paving update. Wheel Round got paved last Friday. Yep.
We're gonna check into that first.
And they're hoping to get Beatty Road paved like the first week or so in October is their plan. They have to finish, I don't know if they're paving in Brandon or wherever they're paving, they gotta finish that before they come back and finish ours, so. We're getting, so I haven't, Kevin said they came out good,
Yeah, I'm
so
sure it did.
all was good, so.
You can always feel the thump,
Mhm.
thump, thump.
On that, if
Yeah.
I may, the railroad, I got notification from the railroad that the county road crossing
Oh, yeah.
is gonna be ripped up, and county road's gonna be closed. And this is gonna be in like the third week of October. And it'll take 4 days, and they were gonna use as a detour route, the BB road, and so I told the gentleman at the railroad, oh, wait a minute, we got, so they're thinking it will be done in.
Yeah, let me verify with Kevin,
Okay.
or you can verify with Kevin what they're saying,
Okay,
so.
and then I'll let the railroad
Yeah.
know, so
Yeah.
this has gotta go.
Mhm. Yeah,
You get them back on schedule?
what back on the paving?
Paving,
I
yeah.
wouldn't say they're on schedule. But I will say the price of asphalt's gone down, so we're saving money waiting, so.
Have they scheduled yet?
The wheel round's done, they did it last Friday, the only thing we got left to pave is B Road. They haven't given us an exact date, but I believe is what he said is around the first week in October. But I will double check, make sure on that, but they're gaining on it.
So you don't wanna do that at the same time?
No, and that's what I wanna be
That's
sure
what
of,
I'd be
you
sure of
don't need
that.
two messes in one spot.
That would be,
That would
all
Yeah,
be.
catastrophic, yeah.
We get some phone calls there.
Yeah, so. McCollum Shore culvert update, we're still working on that. We
Yeah,
got emails back and forth from the engineer and the state.
And then
But the culvert's ordered.
Oh, yeah, no, that's all set, but we're waiting on the permanent part of it, so.
I'm working on the letters of the temporary easements that
Yeah.
go out, I'm working on that. And then I wanna get together with Tyler, we're gonna schedule a meeting with the property owners and everybody's home, so.
Yeah.
We're progressing.
It's a nice little speed bump there, though.
Yeah, I bet it
If you
is.
don't slow down, you know it.
Yeah, yeah.
And I will, this also under highway department, I did send in, for payment of the grant on the BB Road culvert.
Mhm.
That's being processed by the state, that's $121,121. I sent it down, my first one that I requested, and they wrote back, thank you, we'll be in touch. They didn't say you did this wrong, so that's,
Yeah.
that's good, so we'll keep our fingers crossed, so.
Highway, guys been cleaning some culverts out with the village. They got all the sand hauled that we had money allotted for, but because of the price increase of the sand this year, we didn't get as much sand as we normally do, so. I'm gonna talk to Kevin, if he feels that we need to get some more sand, and I have to take some funds from somewhere else to get enough sand to make sure we're good for the winter, so. And we're still waiting on salt price, so we know we're salt, we can't get a price from nobody, so we'll wait till the last minute. But I think that's it, new guy is just working out great, so.
So we're fully employed right now,
We're fully employed, yeah, fully staffed,
people with that.
yeah.
And my understanding, I had a discussion with Kevin today that our man that we were having some problems with is made
Yeah.
a turn to the good.
Yeah, we shouldn't talk about that now though, but yeah, everything's good. Anything else on the highway, I think I'm good. Expenditures, general orders. Here, a motion to approve the general orders 8/24/22 to 9/20/22.
I'll move.
I'll second those.
Alright. Let's take a quick second to look at them. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, ayes have it. Highway orders 8/24/22, 9/20/22. Motion on those?
I know,
Alright,
I'll second those.
alright. Quick second, look at them.
That number for Pike is what we've done thus far.
Yes,
Before wheel around.
before wheel around, yeah. Yeah. All good. Any other questions? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed, ayes have it. Library orders 8/24/22 to 9/20/22. Motion on those.
I'll move.
Alright,
second,
second. Alright, I see they finally got the toilet
I was
replaced.
just gonna say,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
an expensive
They
one.
finally listened to me. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
aye,
Opposed, ayes have it. Payroll orders 8/24/22, 9/20/22.
I move,
I'll second.
Alright, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, ayes have it. There we go. Joint meeting of village trustees, 9/26. Anyone wants to see the agenda on that, it's on page 10.
I gonna be here or in the village?
Near the village complex, because it's their meeting that night.
And it says that on their agenda, it says joint discussion on mutual, items of mutual interest, but, you know, we'll,
Yeah.
and Reggie is aware that we'll probably go in executive session.
Yeah, well, so we have to make sure we have that on there, which we do, so.
Are we on a certain time or just?
No, well, and when that rolls in, they zip through there, the others pretty fast, so. Or usually,
So what time does it start, their meeting?
7 o'clock, I believe.
We got there by
7 o'clock.
We got there by 7:30, we should be,
7 o'clock or.
You better plan on being there for 7.
Some of their stuff goes bang, bang.
Yeah.
If you tell him 6:30, he might.
Yeah, 6:30.
That's what I said, I give you a leeway, yeah.
Yeah, are speed bumps expensive?
I have no idea.
I thought you might know.
Yeah, no.
We need to put some down Canada Street, cause every night about 10:30,
Yeah.
there's 3 or 4 4-wheelers, no lights, just speeding down that son of a bitch like no tomorrow.
Well, that's a good comment for the
I'm gonna
village
bring it
meeting,
up.
then. There you go.
So,
Yeah.
they turned down Linda Ave.
Yeah. Huh. Any other discussion on the, meeting, joint meeting? I guess we're all good. Correspondence, page 11. Is that, what's on page 11? Is that Joel's thing? Yep. Okay. How we doing, guys?
We're doing great.
Good.
Good.
I'm just helping out between select board and rec and so on, and it's
I know you are, and I greatly appreciate it.
town of Swanton.
You gonna be long-winded tonight?
What's that?
You gonna be long-winded tonight?
Am I?
Yeah.
I can be.
No, I don't want you to be. The
No,
voice
I'm
is
not,
the voice is
I'm
not.
not.
No, I'm just
Well, do you want me to start? I
The
didn't.
floor is yours, Joel.
Okay, so after last meeting, you told me or authorized me to work with a cross consultant to come up with how much they would have to spend out of their proposed design money to come up with a good number, to basically seek other funds, cause ARPA funds are not gonna cover the whole cost of the project. So I met with the cross consultant 2 days later, followed up with them a couple times. And you can see by this letter, and if you haven't read it yet, I'm just gonna go slow for, it's just a couple paragraphs.
Yep.
You can read it, and the bottom line is they're looking for close to 90% of the design fees. The design fees, they estimated around 107. They're looking for 90 to 95, and the reason is, part of what we talked about is getting a permit started. And like the stormwater permit, you have to design the stormwater system.
Yeah.
To get the permit approved.
Makes sense.
Yeah, so, it's a fairly large dollar they're looking for, but the commitment from us is if we're gonna do something, we've gotta spend some money. Otherwise, we'll just talk about this, and I know, it's a serious dollar amount, but to me, if we're gonna do it, we should be getting the permit process started, cause it is gonna take a while to get permits approved. They gotta design the system, then come up with the estimate for the stormwater, et cetera. The building wouldn't be completely designed as it shows, but it would be close, and then if we go out with a bond, they would be able to finish the design up fairly rapidly and then go out for an actual, construction project.
so is that, what they're talking about, and you're talking about permits, does that include the money to file for these permits, or just do the design for them?
It's the money to file for the permits.
Okay, that's
What-
included in all this engineering.
Yes, what they would do if the board says they wanna go forward is, cause I said, are you gonna prepare, you should see something that says, we're estimating this number of civil hours, this number of electrical, this much for an architect, this much doing the, stormwater permit. So they would come to you, showing you where that money would be spent. And so that'd be something the town of Swanton would sign with Cross Consultant.
So I guess my question is,
Good question.
do we have to put this to the voters before we proceed with this, or do we do it amongst the select board? I mean, obviously, I know if we go for a bond, it's gonna go in front of the voters.
Well, depends on how you're gonna look at the situation right now.
Mhm.
If you're gonna use the ARPA money for this purpose, then we don't have to go before the voters. We don't have it in our budget right now, so if we use the ARPA money, or we have to wait.
I think if we earmark X number of dollars for this project, I would have 100% faith that the community is gonna back what we're doing here.
Yeah.
Whether it be A model or B model.
Yeah.
I think we need to earmark part of ARPA for what we're gonna put into this project, then pull this out of there. That's just that's how I'm looking at it. We have to commit sooner or later here to do this.
Will the whole progress up though on the project?
Well, not if we commit tonight to what we're gonna spend on it.
Other than the
Well, I thought
bond.
Mark said that put it
Other
in
than-
front of the voters, you know.
Right, once we get past this and you get
Oh,
your
okay.
design
Well,
phase,
you
then you gotta,
misunderstood.
you gotta get your approval for the voters to go on.
And we are exploring other types of funding
Yeah.
through the
Grants or
USDA
whatever we can get,
and grants and stuff like that as well.
Well, they'll just reduce the bond amount, that's all, the burden to the taxpayers.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
There's other ways, I mean, again, like what we shared 2 weeks ago, is you could say, you want some fundraising done too.
Yeah.
No one really wants to do that, but that's an option, but no one's gonna get
Yeah.
to that point of picking options until
We gotta start the ball
we
rolling.
get something that says this is a dollar figure we're looking for.
Mhm.
Now, how do we get it? We may have somebody out in the community who wants to throw some in too.
Well,
Like a rule.
I'm gonna throw it out there, I'm in favor of putting 600,000 of the ARPA funds towards the rec center.
What was the total amount, Kathy?
Well, right now, we
1.2
haven't received
million.
all of our money yet,
Yeah.
and I put a call in today to see what the rest of it. So right now, we have about over 800,000.
We're anticipated to have 1.2
2
though.
million.
1.2 million
Yeah,
is
we
what.
haven't received, it just said 50% on, and I put a call in today just because I thought we were supposed to get it all by the end of August,
Yeah.
but
But we are gonna get the
Apparently.
1.2 million.
we should be getting it,
Yeah.
yes. That's what's been allotted to us as the town.
And I know, that's why I said 600,000, because I know we have other buildings that we want to work on. I know we got highway projects, I'd like to see some of that toward, and I understand that this is important to everybody too, but.
Well, at this point in time, I don't think we ought to go above what the price of this project to get the engineering done.
Okay.
Because we haven't looked at everything else yet. We haven't even got a price on a website design, et cetera, okay? So, I'm committed to getting this done as quickly as possible, and if we approve the money for it, then it'll get done. Then we can see what we got. That money won't be spent by then.
Either way, I think that's a fair assertion. too.
What's that?
I think, either way, I think that's a fair assertion, at least pay for this, get this going, but I think sooner or later we need to earmark.
Well, that's kind of why I was going at, I mean, we need to earmark that, yes, we're gonna spend X amount of dollars towards it, and that's what we're gonna
Still
do.
$600,000.
But if it comes in, that the price of this project comes in higher than what we think, then maybe we might wanna go.
What was the
like-
anticipated
You don't
number?
know,
you
you know,
gave us
I mean,
last
right
week?
now,
Of the whole project?
1.6 million.
1.6 million, yeah, you're okay.
600,000 is only half at current
It's not
cost.
quite half, yeah. No, I know, I know.
Right, but you want some.
But I'm trying to understand that we had other intentions with that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Too, so,
I would go
We
with
want
8.
8.
yeah,
We should settle for 7.
so I don't know, I'm setting aside 600,000 towards it, if that's what we wanna do. Before something else comes along and we decide we wanna spend on something else.
Why not bump it 100,000 more to 7?
Can I jump in on like,
Go
web
ahead.
design?
Yeah.
One of the foundations I've been working with, we paid recently to have some work done on web design, and the figure is not overwhelming, the total dollar figure. So
I know, but I
that's
really
something,
do, at this point in time, I really hate to commit that much. Now, like, everybody else might wanna do it, but that, you know, and that'll get done, but I'm just telling you, my feeling right now is not to commit this much.
oh, I understand, it's
Not
just.
800,000 or something like that right now, because I don't think it's gonna be the best way to build, support for this project, by committing all this money out all at once.
I think the select board has a certain amount of, understanding of what the community came in and said, you know, you advertise the
That's
ARPA.
my decision on.
Right, I mean, the community is kind of spoken, the word, the minutes have been out, the videos have been out of what the select board, the dollar amount,
Yeah.
and several of these other things you're talking about, if you add them up,
And I'm gonna throw one thing out there, because it's always on the community page. someone posted the article about us talking about it on here, and there weren't one person that complained about that.
There wasn't one?
Anything else you put on there, someone got 100 complaints on it, that was the only thing I ever saw on there, that, no complaints, I said, you know what, apparently they support it then.
And I threw out last meeting 800,000, that still leaves 400,000 to do a fair amount of work. And, you know, whether it's 600, 800, that's, the
No,
select board needs
no,
to
yeah,
decide, but I just,
You know what, that's.
when I see that other 400,000, you can do a lot of good stuff with it.
1.2 million.
Yeah.
I figured, you know what, we're halfway.
And that can all be adjusted next spring when you get more info and other
Yeah,
possible
and it
projects.
doesn't say
but
down the road, we can't say, yeah, we're gonna give you another 100,000 out of it.
Right.
Once we know what we wanna do. with the
Right,
rest of it.
and how we wanna chase the money.
I'll make the motion to set aside $600,000 of the ARPA funds to go to the community center project, if you will.
Second on that,
I second.
alright, any other discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye, opposed, ayes have
I'm
it.
opposed.
Opposed, you're opposed.
At least, I think that it's time to step forward and commit to the project and show, we still leave $600,000, that's a lot of money for water projects, that's how I look at it.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah,
This
no,
is
thank you.
also important to the community too, this project they want to do, you know.
Do we need to make an additional motion stating
Oh, yes, we
to
do
use
need to make some
for
of that,
this?
that 600,000 to pay for that. So I'll make another motion, I'll entertain another motion to use the, up to 107,000 is the max of it, right? Yeah, so up to 107,000 of the 600,000 we just allotted towards the engineering from Cross Engineering.
I move.
Second on that,
I'll second that.
alright. Any other discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, ayes have it.
And just real quick on the LVRT, they came in with 500 to 600 to delineate the wetlands. You
Okay.
authorize up to like 1,000. They haven't accomplished that yet, so I'll let you know when that is accomplished. And then I would like to set up 6 October for a public hearing, because we need to have one to put into the grant application. That we
Okay.
had a public hearing, and the select board supports the grant for the,
Okay.
so if we can
You
do
got
that
a
for the.
couple residents there, don't seem to be too
There's
excited.
another letter coming your way.
Well, I don't know if we all know all the details, so.
So in addition to these letters that I've also received oral correspondence from some of the residents who are also not happy. And I don't know if you care to read these out loud, James, but, you know, the one particular community member that I spoke to was concerned about safety, was concerned about the tree line abutting, Ladue Drive.
Okay. So I have one in front of me, you have more than one?
There's more in your packet.
Oh, okay.
There's two more in your packet.
I just got another one. Are these issues addressable?
So, I guess the first question is, we aren't cutting all the trees to Ladue Drive anyways, are we?
I don't think we should.
No,
think
no,
you-
I don't
I
think
mean-
so.
You need a buffer there.
You need a buffer.
You're gonna need a buffer, the buffer, could be like 20 feet wide, because it's not a huge piece of property, but I drove it again tonight, and you could leave a line of trees, to help buffer between that parking area and the residents. It is gonna open it up some, there's no doubt about it. I know there's an issue, someone talked about the restroom, there is another alternate location for the restroom if we go with the restroom. So there are some things we can do, but, we certainly should leave a tree line there. I can fully understand where the residents, because of the way their houses face Ladue Drive, they're looking right at the wood line right now, that, you know, that's a big change, but, you know, if we're gonna have a parking area, that is one of our few options, to have a parking area at the end of the LVRT.
I mean, we had the same issue of the fit and healthy path when we put that in, and then we just did those privacy hedges.
But I think that's important. Privacy hedges may serve even better than the trees that are there
Yeah.
because of the headlights. That is one of the concerns I have, at least headlights pulling in there at night.
Right.
That is facing the housing, so that's something that we really need to take a look at. But there's nothing here that I don't think that we can address.
And we can do one-way traffic, so when you come in, if they come in from the north first, then the headlights are certainly gonna point into the residents. If they come in from the south first, then there'll be less of an impact of the lights.
Well, I would hope to be prepared with those kind of answers, you know, when you do the public hearing,
If anybody shows up.
Well, they will.
You know,
They
Certainly
will,
will.
and that's part of this process.
Yeah,
That's the whole reason we put the letter out.
Yeah.
You know, we talked to you about putting the letter out, because we knew there were gonna be concerns.
Look at the meeting we had over at the village in town together at the village complex on the cannabis shop. Look how many people showed up. It wasn't a freaking handful, that's it, you know? That's what I'm saying, if they show up.
So we have 3 letters.
Yeah, this is
3
more
letters
country.
and
They
then,
didn't
I'm
show
just
up.
gonna state for the record who they're from, so, we do have a letter from Lisa Minier. We do have a letter from Cindy L. Schwinier. And we do have a letter from Aaron Hoig. And I think they're all residents of Woodland Drive. Yeah.
and I think it should be noted that their main concerns are noise and, removing the trees.
Yeah.
Which I think we probably can address, at least the tree part, without too much of a stress.
well, and they also seem to have an issue with, we'll call it suspicious behavior.
Yeah, I was just gonna
In a-
say the same
in a
thing, but that's in every parking lot.
Right, no, I understandably, but just
Yeah.
to note if we're gonna
Nope.
note the other things, to make sure that their concerns are heard.
They hang right out in Hanford's parking lot when they close there too, so I mean, you know, Sunoco behind the Sunoco. There's always dirt bags there, so.
I would also note to the select board that somebody is parking a trailer on this property already. They've cleared a little area, and they have their trailer on that side of the road in the wooded area.
Then it's not supposed to.
It's a little utility trailer, but
Yeah,
they should be given a letter and
it's not their
explaining that
property.
it's not their property to be doing that.
Yeah,
Can you repeat those names for me,
I sure can.
I got Lisa.
Yep, Lisa Minier, and then we
Just don't
have
open the freaking door and tell them it's all right.
I don't-
Cindy L. Schwinier.
I don't have it. I don't have any authority to do that.
You got them right from
Yeah. You get that one? You got it, okay. I can give you this, it's, they're out there, 2 of them are in the agenda anyways.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. All right.
Been there.
Anything else on that, Joel?
That's it.
Yeah, okay. Public comment, anything under public comment? We're all good. Upcoming events, planning commission meeting Wednesday, September 21st, 6:30, town offices here, 1 Academy Street. DRB meeting is Thursday, September 22nd, 6 PM, town offices, 1 Academy Street. The regular in/Zoom select board meetings October 4th, 7 PM here at the town offices, 1 Academy Street. Do we need executive session? I don't believe so. We're all good.
I don't-
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn at 8:05, world record.
1 hour.
I'll second it.
I've never seen it.
All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, there we go. Rock and roll, folks.